Normally, I would just come in here and mess around for the intro and kind of just drag out the video a little bit longer, kind of tell you how what everything's going on with my life and whatnot, but that is not the case today. We've had so many moves and so many things happen that I really wanted to get this video out earlier, but I wanted to make sure that I got everything straight when it came to the stats and the acquisitions and all the numbers before I came on here and made a fool of myself by reporting everything that has happened today. So instead of a long, extended intro, we're going to hop right into it. And on this episode of the Raider Critique, we're going to go over all the waived and released players to get down to the 53-man roster that we're supposed to get down to. We're going to go over the acquisitions that we have picked up during this day, and we're also going to talk about certain trades that were made that have blown up all over online and mainstream sports media. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hit the intro and let's get it started. Okay, so we're here September 1st, and this is the first day of cuts. And we're going to go ahead and go over all of these notable cuts along with the unnotable cuts because I believe that some of these guys, and if not all of these guys, deserve a shout out for playing for our team. Now, this one really surprised me. Marcel Aitman, wide receiver. You guys know which one he is, man. He was balling out all preseason. Marcus Baugh, tight end. Saheed Blacknail had a really good game. Preseason week 4. Wide receiver. Pharaoh Brown, the fake Tim Brown, I've always called him, tight end. Here's another one, man. Martavis Bryant. Now, this guy got in trouble for, at least from what rumors have said, it's only rumors, but he popped hot on another drug test. I'm not going to go into that right now. We'll talk about that later if we feel like it. Completely biased on the situation if the guy popped for certain things, if you know what I mean. James Butler, running back. Paul Butler, tight end. Jason Cabindina, this guy, or Cabinda, this guy right here did really good the last 2 weeks of preseason. Anyway, Jason Cabinda is a linebacker. Now, we signed Gerald Carter on the 27th of August just to cut him on September 1st. He's a cornerback. Connor Cook. Well, you'll know why we cut Connor Cook, because we brought in A.J. McCarron by spending that 5th-round pick next season. So, Connor Cook became expendable, and we kind of knew that was coming. James Cowser. This is another one right here. He balled out for us last year. He did well for us in the preseason, and the guy got cut. I mean, we got Antoine Davis, which is a cornerback. Mario Edwards Jr. Now, Mikey, you called this one. As a shout out to One Nation on air right here. They called this one, even though he was on the trade block, just like they were saying, and just like mainstream media was saying, oh, he's on the trade block, he's doing really well. They were really trying to shop him out really bad, and nobody bit. So he wound up getting cut off the team. Mario Edwards Jr. was playing on the inside defensive tackle before he was released, even though he's listed here as a defensive end. This is another guy we signed on August 27th, Connor Flagel, defensive tackle, and he was cut on September 1st. Cameron Hunt, guard. Denver Kirkland, guard tackle. Dalen Leavitt, safety. Quincy Mauger, safety. Rayshawn Pringle, the guy who was getting burned all preseason game 4. Now, he did make a few plays in the preseason, though. I will give him that, but it's to the chopping block for you, friend. It's really sad that you know that a lot of these guys have got to go. Jordan Simmons, guard. Shakir Soto, defensive line. Azim Victor, linebacker. Jylan Ware, tackle. Isaac Whitney, wide receiver. Gabe Wright, defensive tackle. And Ryan Juracek, fullback. These are the people who have been waived off of our team. Okay, and now we're going to get into the released portion. Ode Abushi, offensive line, has been released. James Stone, backup center, I think he was like third string. He has been released. And Sharice Wright, one of John Gruden's free agent acquisitions, has been released. Now, I believe that this is injured reserve, or that they were waived due to injury. It's Dexter McDonald, cornerback. And then placed on injured reserve has been Eddie Pinero and Chris Warren III. Now, this I don't understand. We saw him play all preseason. He beasted. And now, are we actually releasing him, or are we covering his contract until he comes back? I'm pretty sure that we're covering both of these people's contracts, and we're going to put them on the team sooner or later as soon as they get off of injury. Because obviously we're going to keep Eddie Pinero. We have Mike Nugent. We really need to keep Eddie Pinero. And with the way Chris Warren played this preseason, I don't see any reason why, besides him being injured, he should even be on this list. And the following players placed on the physically unable to perform list is Eddie Vanderdoes, defensive tackle. So that's where we are. That's where our notable cuts are. I'm not going to go too far into it. I will say a few things about Martavis Bryant, just because of how he was let go, because this guy was not expected to be released from the team. But before we get into that, I do want to note that we cut 31 players in total, and with the addition of trading Mack, that's 32, and we added A.J. McCarron, so that basically gives us 31 players in total that we've let go, which leaves 59 players left on the roster. It means we have 6 more players to cut before we make the 53-man roster limit. But anyway, back to Martavis Bryant. With all the off-the-field issues this guy has had, and how he got another chance with our football team after the Steelers basically jettisoned him out of Pittsburgh, he messes up again, costing him his roster spot on this football team, making our wide receiver room a little less threatening. Now, this is more of a reaction video to this, because that was more of a shock than the trade that happened to me. I was actually half right on the trade, but I didn't see this coming. You know, who knew, and if the rumors are true, who knew that he was going to pop hot on a drug test? Because supposedly that's what happened to him. And because of this, if this is the truth, he has lost his job with the Oakland Raiders. I'm not happy about it, especially cutting Marcel Aitman and knowing that we're going to be keeping Seth Roberts, which means Seth Roberts is definitely going to be our slot receiver starting the season off. And he has shown me absolutely nothing except for that he is overpaid and underworked, and he underachieves. But it's just a sad story on Martavis Bryant. So some of us called this, some of us didn't. Some of us dreamed about this, and a lot of us had nightmares about this. But there's no way to get it out of the way anymore. It's just best to get it out of the way. There's no reason to beat around the bush about it anymore. Let's go ahead. It's already been done. Let's break it down that Khalil Mack has now been traded, and he has been traded to the Chicago Bears. Now we're going to go over the transactions of everything that was done with Khalil Mack, at least from what I've read, and I'm going to show you guys where I got my information from. down in the comments or down in the description below. I'm going to post where I pulled my information from, since I'm not really going to an information page. So the transaction details for the Khalil Mack trade to the Bears. We acquired 2 first-round draft picks in 2019 and 2020, a third-round pick in 2020, and a sixth-round pick in 2019. Now, in addition of us sending Khalil Mack to the Bears, we also send a second-round pick in 2020 and a fifth-round pick in 2020 that is a conditional pick. So I don't know what the conditions are behind that pick, but supposedly if they're met, we send a fifth-round pick, which I don't know about that second-round pick, but I read it and it just didn't seem right to me, so please don't quote me on that. This is really rough to even talk about, It's unbelievable how this happened. And I'm going to show you why this trade needed to be done, just by the numbers. The Chicago Bears have signed Khalil Mack, and they paid a deal worth $141 million over the next 6 years. That is ranging at $23.5 million per year, with $90 million in guarantees, along with a $60 million signing bonus. This makes him the highest paid defensive player in history. Now, when you look at something like this and you look at these numbers, and these are actual numbers, you can't make this up. There's no way we would have been able to afford this. Okay, there's absolutely no way we would have been able to afford this. And when you go over the pros and cons, a few of the pros, by my opinion, would be, well, a few of the cons. I'll do the cons first of this trade. A few of the cons that I would say about this trade that ag me is that we gave up a 4-time Pro Bowler, a 2-position All-Pro, 4 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick in 2020, a sixth-round pick in 2019, but we gave away, and like I said, we gave away a second-round pick along with Khalil Mack, along with a fifth-round pick in 2020. That's a conditional pick. I really think I could have done a better deal than this, But looking at this deal, $141 million, 6-year deal at $23.5 million per year, with $60 million for your signing bonus, with $90 million in guarantees. We saw Aaron Donald sign a $135 million deal just yesterday, or the day before, actually, since this video is actually about in the wee hours of Sunday morning. I mean, what can I say? There's no way we could have afforded this. And to be honest with you, the cons to this do not outstack the pros. Okay? And what I mean by pros is the benefits of doing this. So let's go ahead and get into that. How are we going to get into that? Well, by going to over the cap. That's how. And this is everything from what it was today on everything that happened. Now, I'm not able to move it, but we are right here because of the drawing method I have. This is us right here. This is our cap space. Our effective cap space is the exact same number. This is what our dead money is right here. So when you look at it, this is our dead money. Okay? And I know I just goofed that up. But this is our dead money, which is about $5 million. All right? Let's get that drawing mode out of there. It's about $5 million here. 5,417,966. Well, if you take this number away from this 22,999,801, you'll come up with a much better cap number than where we were at prior to the Khalil Mack trade. And all of this cap room here that we get minusing this number from this number goes to next season, which next season, I don't quote me on this, but I believe we get $46 million next year to add another $17 million, close to $18 million. We can build our team with that amount of cap space and that much room. We can re-sign players like Amari Cooper, and we haven't even won the Super Bowl yet, which is a possibility that we still can do this year, because losing this one player is not going to completely hurt our defense. It's not going to hurt us at all, really, if you think about it, because our defensive line has been playing so well. And that's if this defensive line still keeps playing well and this doesn't affect the team. A lot of us believe that this might affect the team in a negative way. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of the Raider Critique. Now, I know it's really hard and we have a lot of mixed emotions because of the Khalil Mack trade that happened today. But in all honest opinion, I hope that I have eased some of y'all's minds and hopefully have maybe taken the nightmares away a little bit, knowing that what we have done has set us up for the next 2 years. By freeing up all this cap room by trading Khalil Mack, we have set it up to where we can rebuild our team if needed, re-sign certain players like Amari Cooper, whose contract year is coming up next season, and solidify any loose ends that we may have anywhere else on this team. I know it's a hard blow, and I know I'm still in shock about it myself. But it's not like that this is all of the sudden. It's kind of like an MMA fighter, okay? When an MMA fighter trains, they spar, and when they spar, they're learning to take certain hits into certain portions of their body, torso, face. And there is a reason for that, to where when it does happen, when you least expect it, it makes you tougher into being able to resist it. Now, we've all known, and the reason why I bring that up is because we've all known Khalil Mack, there was a possibility that he would be traded. Okay. And with, like I said before about mainstream media, a lot of stuff can be true and then a lot of stuff can be false. It just happened to be that this portion of mainstream media happened to be true. They were shopping Khalil Mack for a certain reason, and I'm sure that maybe, with a possibility, certain things might come out on why they moved this direction besides fixing the salary cap. But only time will tell. We're going to have to sit around, wait and see, and find out the true story if it hasn't been given to us already. So anyway, it's like 3:13 in the morning on Sunday, and I'm extremely tired. So I'm going to sign on out of here, and I just want to make sure that you guys hopefully have enjoyed the content. You want to give me a like, a thumbs up, however you want to do it, and share my videos. That's awesome, But this is the Raider Critique, man, and I'll be back with more transactions as they come out with, come up. Because, we still have 6 more spots that we have to cut down to make this roster legitimate at 53 men. So anyway, we'll see you We'll see you all later, and thank you for all your support. And don't forget about Mike and Murph Mondays. On Monday, it's a complete breakdown of everything that has happened in Raider football throughout the whole week. Guys are superb. They're on point. And I suggest you give them a listen and maybe even subscribe to them if you haven't already. This is the Raider Critique, man. I'm signing out.